If you don't want to see me in my underwear. There's pictures, and there's a picture of me in my underwear when I started, and then there's a picture of me in May, and it's fairly extra large into, well, large anyway. So I went from about a 46-inch waist, there was actually, 48-inch waist down to a 36-inch waist. Some other things changed that are really peculiar and kind of interesting. I used to have distance glasses. The interocular pressure in my eyes changed a whole point. I don't need distance glasses anymore. My blood pressure went from about 160 over 80-90, 150 over 80-90, which is very unhealthy stuff, down to 98 over 54, which is like an infant's blood pressure. When they took it, the doctor brought in other equipment because he said something's wrong with the equipment. They took it 4 times and it didn't change. It's 98 over 54. So that was staggering. And overall, you know, I don't have so much problems with my knee anymore. My hips are open up where I can actually run, and BJ had me running around a track outside. But the most important thing that I learned about all this is that if you stick to the program, and nutrition program, even if you get sidetracked, happen to miss a workout, or you get, you know, a couple cheats in a row or something, you're backing yourself up with that program 80 or 90% of the time. You're not going to get back into trouble. I had never done that before in my life. I'd gone through these cyclical diets where I starved myself to try to lose weight. Then I'd go out and buy some new clothes because I felt really great about it. By the time they came back from the tailor, I couldn't fit in them. I got to wear them this time on the way down for about 2 weeks. And I blew right through those into clothes that I started. I actually have been wearing some clothes before I went and bought some new suits, but I was wearing some clothes that I wore when I got out of high school. That's how far down it went, which is pretty amazing stuff. So that's the one thing I learned. The second thing I learned was that, you know, a lot of stuff's made about cardio, and I always thought coming through this that cardio was the way to do it, and so every time I wanted to lose some weight, I'd get on the cardio machine or go out and run and everything else. Well, you know, BJ taught me that what you don't know hurts, but what you think you know will kill you. That's not going to get you anywhere doing that stuff. Strength training is really the key, and I've never done any strength training. So the stuff you're doing now with your body weight and with bands and everything else is really the key to making your metabolism change over. And that's the thing I learned. We don't have to accept the metabolism that we've wound up with by misbehaving, which is in my case what I was doing all that time, slowing my metabolism down to nothing. You can refire that metabolism. You can do that. And I know it's tougher. You probably already figured out it's tougher for women than it is for guys because of testosterone. Hormones run the whole show. And this is what he's teaching you in these classes. So it's a little bit easier for guys to get big results right away. But we're not all going to get results like the world's biggest loser unless you're going to work out 6 hours a day. And I think they really beat those guys silly. That's on tonight. If you ever had a chance to watch it, it's unbelievable. But so I learned from that, and the strength training really being the key. So nutrition and the regular exercise, but it's a lifestyle change. I just don't behave the way that I used to behave at all. I mean, I get up in the morning, still get up early. I figure on doing 5 times a week, 3 times strength training. If I miss a couple sessions, I don't feel good about it. If I miss eat, I don't feel good about it. And it changes the whole way you do it. So because I had gone through it after a year, talked to BJ about putting the program in. Tommy, put the program in at our office, and we had, I think at the beginning, 28 people sign up in that session, BJ, and we've lost over there in the 6 months 350 pounds, the people that have been in the program, and several dress sizes. And most of the people over there that are in the program are women, by the way, and my weight's not in there, not in the program. But when you talk about 350 pounds, I brought something along that I'd just like to show you. You know, my weight went down 75 scale pounds, and it didn't show up right away. I mean, I was starting to get worried because I'd go weigh. I didn't weigh, and you know, I think you're going to probably be weighing once a week. Don't weigh every day. It's really bad. It's a huge demotivator. For me, I didn't even look at it. There were months that would go by where I didn't even get on the scale because I was making muscle. So I lost 75 pounds on the scale. I gained 30 pounds of muscle, lean tissue. This is what 5 pounds of fat looks like. Okay? So if I lost 75 pounds on the scale and gained 30 pounds of muscle, I was carrying 21 of these around. 21. Anybody want to touch it? It's really bizarre. Just feel how heavy it is. It's 5 pounds. That's what 5 pounds of fat, that's how big 5 pounds of fat takes up in your body. I had 21 of these things. And it's quite a difference. 75 pounds. I've got a 40-pound weight pack that I work out with when I'm walking. 40 pounds. I can hardly get that thing on over my head. And I was carrying 75 pounds around, stressing out my whole body, my knees, my joints, my hips, everything else. So it made a difference. It really worked. It's working over at Koss. We still have the people in the program here. They're on their next phase. They're starting out a new one, I know, at Halloween. They're finishing up this most recent one. So that's what BJ wanted me to do, is come along and tell you it actually works. There's, for some of you that maybe haven't done this before and are thinking, oh my gosh, what did I get into? There's a huge light at the end of the tunnel, okay? You're actually going to get someplace if you're struggling at the beginning. And believe me, at the beginning it looks like it's much tougher, but it gets easier, okay? Any questions or anything that I can answer?